The Success Blueprint, Audiobooks Breakthrough by Oliver Maldonado. Introduction. The blueprint you were never given. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they were never given a blueprint, a real one. One that strips away the noise, the self-help cliches, the motivational sugar, and gets down to the fundamental architecture that creates a successful human being. This is that blueprint. Not inspiration, construction. You are about to learn the underlying structure, the mental wiring, the behavioral scaffolding, and the internal physics that determine whether your life becomes extraordinary or forgettable. Every outcome in your life so far, good or bad, has been the product of a system. Some systems you inherited, some you picked up accidentally, some you copied from the wrong people. But now you are going to build the right system, consciously, strategically, deliberately. This audiobook gives you the foundations of a life that cannot collapse. This is The Success Blueprint. Chapter 1. The First Law of Success. Identity before action. Every blueprint starts with a question. Who is building this? You don't get successful by trying harder. You get successful by becoming the kind of person who has no choice but to succeed. Identity comes first. Action comes second. Results come last. Most people reverse the order, which is why they stay stuck. They wait to feel successful before acting like someone successful. They wait to see results before shifting their identity. That's backwards. Identity is the blueprint. Everything else is the construction process that follows. The identity formula. There are 3 layers to identity transformation. 1. Self-definition, the words you use to describe yourself. 2. Self-expectation, the standards you hold yourself to. 3. Self-consistency, the behaviors you repeatedly perform. Change the definition, change the expectation, change the consistency, and you change your destiny. Ask yourself, what type of person am I becoming based on the choices I made today? The blueprint doesn't lie. Your actions reveal the identity you're building. If you don't like your results, rebuild the builder. Chapter 2. The second law. Win the morning, control the day. Successful people aren't lucky. They are structured. Your morning is the master lever of your entire life. It determines the quality of your decisions, your emotional stability, your discipline, and your productivity. The world will always try to hijack your day. Chaos is the default state of modern life, but the morning is a gift. It's the only part of the day the world hasn't contaminated yet. Your blueprint begins with how you start. The morning architecture. A winning morning has 4 pillars. 1. Silence, to neutralize mental noise. 2. Clarity, to define your direction. 3. Activation, to wake up your physiology. 4. Commitment, to lock in your first win of the day. When these 4 pillars are executed with consistency, the day follows your command. You don't need a 2-hour ritual. You don't need yoga, journaling, bulletproof coffee, or a perfect sunrise. You need structure. You need intention. You need one small win that proves to your brain, today belongs to me. That one win becomes the seed of self-respect. Self-respect becomes discipline. Discipline becomes momentum. Momentum becomes destiny. Chapter 3. Law 3. Ruthless clarity. Most people aren't failing. They're just scattered. They're pulled in 20 different directions. They say yes to everything. They get distracted by anything. They invest their energy into nothing. Success requires ruthless clarity, a level of focus that feels almost violent to your old habits. This chapter is where your blueprint sharpens. The target principle. There are only 3 things worth focusing on. The one goal that changes everything. The one skill that unlocks your income. The one identity you must grow into. Everything else is noise. Most lives collapse under the weight of unnecessary obligations. Most dreams die under the slow suffocation of distractions disguised as opportunities. Your blueprint demands subtraction, not addition. You don't build a skyscraper by adding rooms. You build it by reinforcing the core. Your life's core is your purpose, your mission, your highest potential, your disciplined self. Everything else is a distraction, a detour, or a drain. Chapter 4. Law 4. Control your inputs, control your outputs. Your mind is a machine. What you feed it determines what it creates. If you feed it fear, it produces hesitation. If you feed it distraction, it produces procrastination. If you feed it weakness, it produces excuses. But if you feed it conviction, if you feed it structure, if you feed it power, it produces a new life. Input. Architecture. There are 3 categories of mental input. 1. People. 2. Content. 3. Environment. People shape your confidence. Content shapes your beliefs. Environment shapes your behavior. If any of these 3 inputs are polluted, your entire blueprint collapses. You cannot outwork a toxic environment. You cannot out-hustle destructive inputs. You cannot outperform the people who drain you. The input audit. Ask yourself, who around me makes me weaker? What content is poisoning my ambition? What environments lower my standards? Remove them. Your blueprint has no tolerance for forces that weaken the structure. Chapter 5. Law 5. The Success Compass, the 4 dimensions. This is where your blueprint expands into a multidimensional model. Success is not linear. It is quadrilateral, built across 4 dimensions of human performance. 1. Mindset, how you think. 2. Skill set, what you can do. 3. Habits, what you repeatedly do. 4. Character, who you become. If one dimension is weak, the structure collapses. Mindset, the architect. Your mindset designs your world. Skill set, the tools. Your skills determine the scale of your success. Habits, the construction. Your habits build the structure day by day. Character, the foundation. Character determines whether the structure lasts. You must strengthen all 4 dimensions or nothing holds. This is where most people fail. They develop motivation but not skills. Or they develop skills but not discipline. Or they develop discipline but not identity. Or they grow identity but not character. The blueprint demands alignment. When all 4 dimensions move in unison, success becomes predictable, automatic, inevitable. Chapter 6. Law 6. The hard truth about discipline. Nobody becomes successful because they feel like it. Nobody wakes up motivated every day. Nobody is naturally disciplined. Discipline is forged, not found, and the truth is simple. You don't need motivation. You need rules. The blueprint operates on non-negotiables, the rules you follow even when your feelings rebel. The discipline trifecta. 1. Standards, what you refuse to tolerate. 2. Systems, the structure that forces execution. 3. Self-respect, the internal authority that says, I follow through no matter what. Your life changes the moment you realize discipline isn't about punishment. It's about alignment. Every time you follow a rule you set, your identity grows stronger. Every time you break a rule, your identity weakens. Discipline is identity training. The blueprint requires you to become the person who trusts their own word. If you say you're going to do it, you do it. No escape routes. No emotional loopholes. No negotiations. This is how self-mastery is built. Chapter 7. Law 7. The power of micro-commitments. Most people fail because they try to change their whole life in one day. Massive action is romantic, but it's not sustainable. Real transformation comes from micro-commitments, small actions repeated relentlessly until the identity shifts permanently. Your brain doesn't believe big promises, but it absolutely believes repeated evidence. Why micro-commitments work. They bypass procrastination, they remove emotional resistance, they rewire your identity. They build unstoppable momentum. You don't become disciplined by running 10 miles every day. You become disciplined by showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even if the action is small. Consistency beats intensity. Identity beats motivation. Systems beat moods. Your blueprint must be constructed on small wins that accumulate into structural change. If you can't do something small every day, you won't do something big any day. Write this into the blueprint. Micro commitments create macro transformations. Chapter 8. Law 8. Remove the invisible friction. Success isn't just about what you do, it's about what gets in your way. Most people have invisible friction slowing them down. Clutter, distractions, mental noise, negative people, weak environments, ambiguous goals, emotional chaos. You cannot build a skyscraper on top of a swamp. You cannot run at full speed while dragging anchors. You cannot create a powerful life on top of a chaotic mind. The friction audit. Ask yourself, what slows me down every day? What drains me emotionally? What steals my focus? What habits derail my progress? Then remove them. Not minimize, not manage. Remove. The blueprint must be built on clean foundations. You need a life designed for clarity, speed, and execution. Anything that slows your construction must be demolished. Chapter 9. Law 9. Raising your standard of suffering. Weak people avoid discomfort. Successful people pursue the right type of discomfort. The world doesn't get easier. You simply become stronger. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of discomfort you choose. Mediocre discomfort. Procrastination, guilt, anxiety, regret. High-performance discomfort. Discipline, sacrifice, focus, delayed gratification. You will suffer either way. The question is, do you want the suffering that builds you or the suffering that breaks you? The blueprint rule. Choose discomfort with ROI. Choose the pain that expands you. Choose the struggle that builds you. Choose the growth that hurts now but pays later. Standard of suffering. Standard of success. Chapter 10. Law 10. The one decision method. Every major transformation in your life begins with one decision. This is who I am now. Not I'll try, not I hope, not I'll see, not maybe later. One decision with no back door. Humans are not built to make dozens of life-changing decisions every day. We are built to execute one powerful identity shift and then align our actions to it. The one decision method. 1. Decide who you are becoming. 2. Remove all alternatives. 3. Build your systems around that identity. 4. Act in alignment every day. 5. Refuse to negotiate with the old version of yourself. Success becomes simple when your identity is non-negotiable. This is the core of the blueprint. Choose once. Live the decision daily. Chapter 11. Law 11. Momentum is king. Success is not about perfection. It's about momentum. Most people lose momentum because they chase intensity instead of consistency. Momentum doesn't come from giant wins. Momentum comes from stacking small wins relentlessly until you create an unstoppable psychological force. Momentum mechanics. Momentum requires 3 things. 1. Direction, knowing exactly where you're going. 2. Action, taking steps toward the target daily. 3. Continuation, refusing to break the chain. When you break momentum, your brain resets, identity weakens, doubt increases, discipline erodes. Momentum is the silent engine of success, and your blueprint must protect it at all costs. Chapter 12. Law 12. Control your inner world. The meta mindset. Your inner world creates your outer world. If your thoughts are chaotic, your life will be chaotic. If your beliefs are weak, your results will be weak. If your internal dialogue is abusive, you will sabotage every success. You cannot build a powerful life with a powerless mind. The meta mindset formula. There are 4 components. 1. Narrative, the story you tell yourself. 2. Beliefs, the rules you think the world operates. By 3. Emotions, the feelings you allow to dictate your choices. 4. Interpretations, the meaning you assign to events. Change any one of these and your entire life shifts. Change all 4, and you become unstoppable. Your blueprint must include mastery of your inner world. Nothing external can overpower a disciplined, structured, self-commanding mind. Chapter 13. Law 13. The Environment Design Principle. You become the environment you live in, not metaphorically, neurologically. Your environment programs your habits, shapes your thoughts, influences your behavior, sets your emotional baseline. This is why changing your environment often produces faster transformation than changing your mindset. Environment design. Where you live, what you see, what you hear, the people around you, the noise, the order, the chaos, all of it influences your internal architecture. To follow the blueprint, you must deliberately sculpt your environment so it matches the person you are becoming. Ask yourself, does my environment make discipline easier or harder? Does it elevate my standards or lower them? Does it reinforce success or encourage distraction? Build the environment that builds you. Chapter 14. Law 14. Master the skill of execution. Ideas are worthless. Knowledge is potential. Planning is temporary. Execution is everything. The world rewards the person who can get things done, repeatedly, quickly, efficiently, regardless of obstacles. Execution Mastery Framework. To execute at a high level, you must master 3 skills. 1. Starting fast, kill hesitation. 2. Finishing strong, kill procrastination. 3. Repeating daily, kill inconsistency. You don't need to be the smartest. You need to be the most consistent executor. This is the engine of the blueprint. Chapter 15. Law 15. The 100-Day Reconstruction Plan. A blueprint without a timeline becomes a dream. A timeline without structure becomes a wish. So here is your 100-day reconstruction plan, the system that rebuilds your identity, habits, mindset, and standards from the ground up. Phase 1. Identity Reset. Days 120. Define the new identity. Remove outdated beliefs. Install non-negotiables. Create morning architecture. Phase 2. Habit Installation. Days 21 to 50. Implement micro-commitments. Track small wins. Remove friction. Create a discipline chain. Phase 3. Skill Construction. Days 51 to 80. Identify the income skill. Practice it daily. Simplify inputs. Increase deliberate practice. Phase 4. Environment Optimization. Days 81 to 100. Clean physical spaces. Reduce digital clutter. Audit relationships. Reinforce success environments. You are not rebuilding your life. You are reconstructing the architect. Chapter 16. Law 16. The Unshakable Self-Concept. To execute this blueprint, you must build the ultimate internal force, self-concept. Self-concept is the story you believe about yourself, and nothing predicts success more accurately. If you see yourself as average, your life will remain average. If you see yourself as disciplined, your choices will reflect discipline. If you see yourself as powerful, your behavior will create power. Upgrade your self-concept. Repeat daily. I am the person who follows through. I am the person who builds, not breaks. I am the person who directs my life. I am the person who wins because I outlast everyone else. Identity is destiny. Self-concept is identity. Rewire it ruthlessly. Chapter 17. Law 17. Live above the line. In the blueprint, there is a line, the line between reactive versus proactive, victim versus creator, emotion-driven versus principle-driven, comfort-driven versus mission-driven, average versus exceptional. Everything below the line destroys your potential. Everything above the line builds your masterpiece. The blueprint requires that you live above the line at all times. That is the standard. That is the requirement. That is the non-negotiable. Chapter 18. Law 18. Become the blueprint. Success isn't something you chase. Success is something you become. You don't follow the blueprint. You embody it. You become the person whose identity, habits, systems, standards, skills, and environment produce success automatically. This is the ultimate shift. You stop trying to succeed, and you become someone who succeeds as a byproduct of who you are. When you become the blueprint, your life aligns itself. Opportunities appear, standards rise, weakness dissolves, momentum compounds. Your internal world dictates your external reality. This is the transformation. This is the architecture. This is the moment your life divides into before and after. You are no longer seeking success. You are building yourself into the person who cannot fail.